Picture this, it's 1984 and a bunch of guys who look like they're raided at a costume shop are about to become some of the biggest rock stars in the world. But their journey to the top was filled with studio battles, angry parents, and a trip to Congress that would change rock music forever. This is the story of Twisted Sister's Stay Hungry, how it went from an album that nobody wanted to hear to one of the most important rock records ever made. We're going to discover why their producer tried to kick their biggest hits off the album, how a funny music video made them superstars, and why the US government thought their songs were dangerous. I'll be showing you my vinyl copy of Stay Hungry that I found at a street fair in Mexico City. And what makes this special is that it has the song titles printed in both English and Spanish. It's a cool piece of rock history that shows this album reached fans all around the world. And if you know me, I like to show the vinyl first, and I like to film this part separately. This way I can show everything up close and take everything out and show you all the inserts and all that. So I'll do that, and then I'll come back again and tell the story. Okay, let's take a look at the vinyl record. And it has a little sticker here. It says the Rocker Series. And then there's the Twisted Sister. Sorry for the glare, but this one still has the shrink wrap on it, and then take it off. Here are the song titles. As you can see, they are in English and Spanish. And you can look at that. I'm going to be talking about all the songs later on, by the way. And here is the band. Let me try to go back so there's less of a glare. And there's a little Atlantic label. Okay, here is the vinyl. As you can see, it's in Spanish. It says Lado A, which is side A. And let me close up again. It has the titles in English and Spanish. Here is side B. Again, the same thing. It looks just like it. Let me go closer to the sticker here. And finally, here's the sleeve where you see the band members on the bottom. And there's liner notes where it was recorded and everything. And this is all in English. So this is basically the original one that came with the album. So you can see all the text here. Again, if you want to read it, feel free to pause this video. I'll go kind of slow. This way I can kind of see everything. And let's flip it over. And here are the lyrics. I'm not going to scan through everything, but you can see it has all the lyrics here. And let me come back. And you can see they're all on one side of the sheet. So let's return to the video. Back in 1984, a wild rock band from Long Island, New York was about to change everything. Twisted Sister had been playing music for over 10 years, but nobody really knew who they were. They had this crazy hair, wore makeup, and they looked like they were from another planet. But they were about to release an album that would make them rock stars. The album was called Stay Hungry, came out on May 10th, 1984. Before this, Twisted Sister had made 2 other albums, but they didn't sell very well. The band was getting tired of playing in small clubs. They wanted to be famous. They wanted the whole world to hear their music. Lead singer was a guy named Dee Snider. He had long blonde hair and wore bright makeup. He looked scary, but he was actually pretty funny. Dee wrote most of the songs, and he had big dreams for the band. To make the album, they hired a producer named Tom Werman. Tom had worked with other famous bands, so the record company thought he was perfect. But there was a problem. Tom wanted to make their music sound softer and more radio-friendly. The band wanted to sound heavy and loud like they did when they played their live shows. This caused a lot of fighting in the studio. The band members didn't like how their music was sounding. They thought it was too weak, but Tom believed that this way they can help him get them on the radio and sell more records. In the end, Tom got his way. They recorded the album at 3 different studios in New York and Los Angeles. It took them about 2 months to finish everything. The band had written about almost 25 songs, but they picked the best 10 for the album. The first song they released was called We're Not Gonna Take It. The song changed everything for Twisted Sister. Dee wrote it to be an anthem, a song that would make people want to sing along and feel powerful. The words were simple but strong. It was about standing up to bullies and fighting back when someone tries to control you. But the real magic happened when they made a music video for the song. In 1984, MTV was the most important thing for rock bands. If your video played on MTV, millions of people would see it. The video for We're Not Gonna Take It was hilarious. It showed an angry dad yelling at his son for playing rock music. Then Dee Snider shows up and uses the power of rock and roll to defeat the mean dad. The dad gets thrown out the window, and all sorts of funny things happen to him. The actor playing the dad was Mark Metcalf, who had played another mean guy in a famous movie called Animal House. People loved seeing him getting beaten up by rock music. The video was funny and memorable, and MTV played it all the time. The song became a huge hit. It reached number 21 on the charts, which was amazing for a heavy metal band. Kids everywhere were singing "We're Not Gonna Take It Anymore." It became the perfect song for anyone who felt angry at parents, teachers, or their bosses. A few months later, they released another song called "I Wanna Rock." This one had an even crazier music video. This one showed another kid just being transformed into Dee Snider in a classroom, and it was just another fun video. Again, MTV loved it and they played it constantly. And the album also had a power ballad called "The Price," and that showed Twisted Sister could do more than just loud rock music. They can make power ballads and emotional songs too. "Stay Hungry" became a massive success, sold over 3 million copies in America alone. Twisted Sister went from playing tiny clubs to selling out huge arenas. They were suddenly one of the biggest rock bands in the world. So it's an album I like to go back to often. I would probably say it's one of my favorite, but I'll be honest with you, it's not favorite because of the singles, "We're Not Gonna Take It" or "I Wanna Rock." I actually like the other songs, and I think those are probably the best ones on the album. And not even "The Price." I think that's a good song, but I think the songs like "Burn in Hell," that's a really cool, heavy song. It's like dark, it's got an evil sound. I really like that one. There's this two-part song called "Horror Terrier." The beginning, part one, is Captain Howdy, where it tells this whole story. And I think that was made into a movie later on. And then "Street Justice" is kind of like a whole other song where they kind of speed up the pace. Another really great song. Like, this album was all about the deep cuts for me. Then on the second side, "Don't Let Me Down," decent song, but "The Beast," another heavy, super great song. And SMF, I'm not going to say what it stands for, but you probably know what it does. Another really great song, great riffs, and it's just very dark, heavy, and a really good song that represents heavy metal in general. And it's an album, it defined what rock music was like in the 80s. They had the crazy outfits, the big hair, the attitude, and they influenced like so many other bands. It improved rock music to be both heavy and fun. But the success caused some problems, and I was talking about this before, so let's talk about the legal problems they had, because the parents and politicians didn't like their message, and they thought songs like "We're Not Gonna Take It" were too violent and will make kids behave badly. And there were these big debates about rock music was dangerous and all that. Dee Snider went to Congress to defend the songs. He explained that "We're Not Gonna Take It" wasn't about violence, it's about standing up for yourself and not letting bullies push you around. And this defense made him even more famous. Even though some band members weren't happy with how the album sounded, "Stay Hungry" became one of the most important rock albums of the 80s. Songs are still popular today. You probably heard "We're Not Gonna Take It" somewhere, either on movie, TV, radio, sports games. It's been all over. It's a song that represents fighting back and never giving up. Twisted Sister proved that sometimes the weirdest, wildest bands can create the most memorable music. "Stay Hungry" turned 5 guys from Long Island into rock legends, and the message of rebellion still inspires people today. This band's really important for me. I've talked about this a lot on my other channel, JC Rock and Metal Reviews, but when I was young, I was 8 or 9 years old. I grew up on Long Island, so I have family members, my parents, I have aunts and uncles who have met Dee Snider and the band, and my father actually worked with one of the earliest drummers who was only in the band for maybe like a year. And that's how I discovered this band. And this was before I even knew what heavy metal music was. And back then they were nobodies. This is before their first album also. That's why this band and this album is really important for me. It has a lot of nostalgia. So I'm going to end this video here. And thanks for watching. Keep on rocking. Subscribe. All that good stuff. And I will see you in the next one.